Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. My name is David.
And my name is James, and this is where we talk about all things Star Wars. Looks like Bender is already in the house. I don't know how fast you did that, Bender, but thank you very much for joining us. That was very quick. But before we get going, David, I believe you have some names to thank and address.
Yes, I do. If you're looking at the very bottom of the screen here on YouTube and the other place, Liam McCallan, Chris Simpson, Kevin Leininger, Dan McCaffrey, Drew Peters, Zach Netzel, Maya Morris, Maka Talatala, Adam Haber, Brad Mackey, Front Row King, Darth Beard. Thank you so much for your awesome love and support of our
Yes.
little podcast here. And yeah, just thank you so much. Yeah, Bender kind of caught us off guard there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I was
forgot
like,
Darth Ace won there.
yeah. Oh yeah. We can't forget. Yeah, Darth Ace one. Yeah, Bender. Yeah, you just popped up, and I was like, oh, he's already here. So awesome. Um, I think we should get to the big news that dropped today, which is it's on our title, which is the Lando series. We've heard a little bit about the Lando series, and it comes from a great source, which is Bespin Bulletin, who are very, very good at covering a lot of great Star Wars news. So I go check them out. But yeah, they say Donald Glover confirms he's still working on Lando. Says he wants in the movie to be fun, and Star Wars is too serious, he says. So yeah, he wants the movie to be fun, and he's still working on it. And we've all been kind of under the assumption that this is gone. This is no longer in, development. But yeah, it seems like yeah, from the man himself, Lando Calrissian, he is still working on it. So that's great news. I'm excited about it. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, before I give my thoughts, I'm going to read a little bit of this article here on Bespin Bulletin. It's been over a year since fans learned that Donald Glover and his brother, Stephen Glover, had taken over writing duties on the previously announced Lando project. The project was initially planned to be a Disney Plus streaming series to be written by Justin Simeon, who actually saw in person moderate a Star Trek panel,
Oh,
of all things,
nice.
at San Diego Comic Con. He also was part of the Haunted Mansion and would see Donald Glover once again in the role of Lando Calrissian, reprising the role after debuting as a character in the 2018's Solo: A Star Wars Story. In addition to the news that Simeon was off of the project and the Glovers had come aboard as writers, it was also revealed by Stephen Glover that the duo were now writing the project as a movie and no longer a series. It's been quite a while since fans have received any news on the Lando project, but during a recent interview with Wall Street Journal, Donald Glover has shared a minor update revealing that he's still working on the project with his brother and his hopes for the film. Glover brought up the topic of Lando himself during the interview when discussing how it feels to work so closely with his brother, who wrote on the critically acclaimed series Atlanta, which is a great series.
Great.
Stephen Glover also worked with Donald on his two Amazon Prime video series, Swarm, which I've never heard of, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which we've all heard of. The latter of the which, like Atlanta, found critical acclaim, Glover said. I have nothing to say other than I'm really lucky. I get to work with my best friend of all time, and it's fun. And when we hang out, we work, and that's the best part. I'll go to visit his kids and hang out, but we end up talking about Lando and breaking a story or something like that. What else would you want? To be able to hang out with your friend and be like, we're actually doing work too. That's what Donald Glover said. Following the unprompted Lando mentioned by Glover, Wall Street Journal naturally followed up and asked the musician and actor what he wants the Lando movie to be. Glover stressed that he just wants the effort to be fun, and that Star Wars has been lacking that fun factor he's hoping to put to screen in movie. Glover says, I just want it to be fun. As a Star Wars fan myself, I think it's important to have fun. There needs to be more fun being had. Lots of fun. It's very hard to have fun right now. It's tough because there are very serious things happening, and there are the only things connecting us, and they are, the only things connecting us. Weirdly, I get why things are serious, but part of the human experience, I believe, is ability to have enjoyment, and I think we're lacking in that department. Star Wars, I love it, but sometimes it's super serious. Sometimes he says sometimes it'd be way too serious. Everything that has to do with the Skywalkers is so serious, per Donald Glover. Glover also went on to explain what he believes to be why audiences can relate to Calrissian, pointing towards Lando's scoundrel persona and appetite for money against a backdrop of a world of galaxy and chaos. Lando, the best part about him is that he's a scoundrel. People can relate to that, and he's probably like, man, this war is whack. I need money. Which I feel like everyone can relate to. So I just wanted to bring fun to Star Wars. I just want Star Wars to be fun. And the writer says, I'm a huge fan of Donald Glover as an actor, musician, and comedian, and can't wait to see what he delivers with the Lando project. Personally, I'm still not holding much hope of this film ever seeing the light of day, especially with Lucasfilm's packed Star Wars theatrical schedule. I don't agree with that. I've also never thought that Lando as a film would work. I think it would work. It would unfortunately suffer the same fate of Solo, becoming a box office failure. I always preferred the idea of a series, especially one from the Glover brothers, as I've adored their TV work, namely Atlanta and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I personally believe the first 2 seasons of Atlanta is some of the best TV ever made. If this Lando project ever sees the light of day, I hope that the Glovers enlist a frequent collaborator of theirs, Hiro Morey. As a director, Morey directed episodes of Atlanta and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, as well as other high-profile TV series such as Barry, Snowfall, and Legion. So there you go.
Yeah, I disagree with it not working as a movie. You know what I mean? Like you put Donald Glover's face on a movie poster and it's called Lando or the Chronicles of what was it called again? What was
Calrissian
it?
Chronicles.
Yeah, the Calrissian Chronicles. That's gonna make money. Donald Glover is huge. He is massive. He has, he's a stand-up comedian. He's also, a singer, very, very successful Grammy-winning singer. He's also a writer. He's also a showrunner. He's everything, and he's very talented. And you can't get to where he is without having some great, great talent, and he has it. So yeah, you put his face on a poster, Star Wars, and it's about Lando. I think we would all be very, very eager to see that. And for me, the perfect Lando movie would be starting off with Billy D. Williams, as older Lando, and then going and then telling the story and then seeing how it all, you know, hearing him tell the story. And I don't know, for me, it would be fun because some of it would be kind of like would be kind of far fetched, but it would still be really cool. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, Billy D. Williams is getting up there in age. He's already in probably his mid 80s already. So yeah, if they want to do that, they would have to hurry up and do that. But yeah, I am beyond excited that we actually have news about this because I was very sad when I found out that it might not happen. You check it out, see how old Billy D. Williams is?
87.
Yeah, see, he's almost 90 already. So good grief. Old Orlando talking to his daughter, and they tell a story about how he lost. Yeah, we want to see that story as well, and hopefully, Donald Glover is as big of. He seems like a big Star Wars fan, a big nerd. We all know that Lando did have a daughter. She was taken from him, and that plot is still something that we want to see because at the ending of Rise of Skywalker, it set up a great kind of adventure story for Lando to go looking and helping other kids find their parents, as well as also looking for his own daughter. Um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Joseph says Donald is filming 2 movies right now, so don't expect anything to happen until at least 2027. Yeah, we figured because, and then plus Lucasfilm has said they are having those 3 movies come out in 2026 and 2027. So yeah, I would maybe that could be a fourth 2027, like that could be a fourth movie that comes out in 2027. That would be pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I think this is great news. And the fact that he's excited for it, that's also fun that we have a Star Wars fan who's insanely excited for this project. And yeah, he's a big nerd. If you ever hear his interviews when he got cast as Lando, he was just like so excited. And that
Yeah, I
was
was just going to
perfect.
touch on that. Yeah, he said he bought a pizza, took it to his place, and just watched The Empire Strikes Back to prepare to be Lando in Solo: Star Wars Story. But yeah, I think Donald Glover is a genius. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he's a writer, an actor, a musician, a showrunner. I mean, he can do it all. I mean, he has kind of like he's one of those few guys out there that you can kind of like be like, go do your own thing. He's a huge creative. you don't interfere with his stuff.
No.
Leave him alone. Let him do his thing. He's got it going. I mean, just Lucasfilm, if you're listening, let him be Lando.
Yeah.
Let him come up with the script. I mean, it's gonna be cool. Just give him the time. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's very wealthy now. I know Amazon gave him a big contract for
Nice.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I mean, he's very, very talented. I think man, that show Atlanta. I know it's not a family show, but I mean, it is awesome. It's to me,
It
it's
was
one of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
and it's rough. It's not as fun as you want it to be. It's real. It's a very real show,
Yeah,
and it shows you. Yeah, it's. I mean, I like to watch shows that make me feel nothing. Not knocking the show. They make me feel good. Make me feel happy. Make me feel like I've accomplished something watching the show. With Atlanta, he's showing you this life, this way of life of
yeah.
these men, and what the circumstances they're in, and it's like, oh my gosh, like this is, and it's well done, well written, well
Yeah.
acted. All the cast members of that show are phenomenal,
They've all become like
and they're all,
almost like
yeah, they're all
superstars at this point.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all massive now.
Brian Tyree Henry and Zazie Beetz. And
Oh
what's the
yeah,
other guy's name?
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, look, yeah.
So, fun fact about Lakeith Stanfield. So he was in a movie called Sorry to Bother You, which that movie's insane, absolutely insane. Donald Glover was cast in that role of Sorry to Bother You, but when Star Wars came up, he backed out of that movie and said Lakeith Stanfield is the better choice for this part. And so Lakeith Stanfield ended up being the lead in that movie. But Disney said that Joseph says Disney had the investors call before they canceled the Acolyte, and then internally did a reset on live action show and one movie per year. So 2 movies in 2026 is not happening anymore. Oh, really? Is this news that we didn't know about? That because I
Yeah,
heard
yeah, put up a link on in chat so we can go to it to verify that because I haven't heard that.
I had just heard that they said it is happening. Like those 3 movies are
Yeah,
going
I
to
that
happen.
would be pretty huge news if that was the case. We probably would have known about it.
We're
But
not knocking you, Joseph.
I mean, we don't.
Stuff
I mean,
misses. Yeah, we miss stuff
we're not
sometimes. So.
perfect. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Like I said. I mean, Donald Glover. I think he nailed Lando
Oh yeah,
in Solo, and the whole Calrissian Chronicles thing. I mean, that just sets you up with
so much.
so many different storylines, so many different possibilities. You could bring Alden Ehrenreich back.
Oh, please. Gosh, he was. We talk about, I know a broken record, but oh my goodness gracious, that movie, Solo, is such a fun movie. Like, it's so great. And I love watching that movie and then watching Empire Strikes Back whenever Han Solo and Lando first meet each other. I mean, and they meet each other. And
Yeah.
just that interaction, knowing the past story that we saw, it's just it flows perfectly. And Solo is a little apprehensive because he's like, "Oh, last time we were there, we didn't quite end on the same, on the right foot." Oh, which reminds me, maybe somebody in chat knows. I know Colin would be the one to know. Do Han and Lando see each other after the events of Solo and before Empire Strikes Back, or because I remember hearing that Empire was like the first time they saw each other after the events of Solo. So I don't know. I want to look that up to see.
I don't want to say yes or no. I feel like it's a yes.
Yeah, I think they haven't. I don't think Solo would. Yeah. And Bender says, I don't think the Solo would have been the same without Donald Glover. And I agree 100%. I mean, he was kind of like that casting that we were just like, whoa, okay, let's see how. I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect casting for him to be Lando Calrissian. And then the moment he started talking, you're like, yep, that's young Lando. Like there was no way that's not young Lando.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Darth Beard on YouTube says there's no official canon story.
okay, cool. Well, yeah. So, which always makes me happy whenever I watch Empire Strikes Back, and that interaction when they first see each other is so good. And yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where Solo 2 could have built up to. Yeah. Oh man, Solo 2 would have been, I mean, it was set up so well. They had such great like things they could have done with the Solo plot line, and it felt like there could have been, because they introduced Crimson Dawn, which
Right.
felt like that plot could have been going underneath the original trilogy also. Like that felt like something that could have been happening simultaneously with, the Empire rising up and also Crimson Dawn doing their thing. It felt like there was a lot of potential for what that solo story could have been. And then unfortunately, it made its budget back. It did make its money. It didn't tank. It just didn't make that $1 billion that Disney
Right.
was hoping for.
So after post original trilogy, and maybe excluding Ewan McGregor, who has been the best casted for their role in Star Wars? Which actor actress has been the best casted? I know
Maybe.
you're probably thinking Donald Glover at this point, right, with
Well,
Lando.
well, yeah,
But
because we're
who
talking
is
about.
up there with Ewan McGregor? I would say Liam Neeson is Qui Gon Jinn,
Oh yeah,
even though we didn't have a basis for that character. But I mean, he was like that character, and there was like zero criticism of Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor.
yeah. Nobody was upset that Liam Neeson was
Right,
was Qui Gon Jinn. Everybody just accepted that right away. We had no
right.
idea who this guy was, but then the moment you read his name, Qui Gon Jinn, you're like, oh, that's Star Wars. That's a Star Wars character, and then we just accepted it. Trying to think. Adam Driver as Ben Solo and Kylo Ren was pretty damn good. I mean,
Right, right.
I think he did a great job with Star Wars.
Okay.
And yeah, he had a level of mind you, the script that Abrams wrote and Johnson wrote gave that character a lot to play with. And a lot of people said they liked his. I've heard people say, don't get mad, that his journey was a little bit more intriguing than Anakin's journey was in the prequels, and a lot of it they say has to go to kind of the performance. Adam Driver like nailed it, whereas Hayden Christensen's performance is kind of criticized for being the way it is. But I mean, I'm not going to judge that. I still like Hayden Christensen a lot as Anakin Skywalker. But yeah, I want to say Adam Driver was one of the good choices for Star Wars.
Okay, so you put up Adam Driver against Donald Glover's performance. Who was better?
Oh,
Who was the better
well,
cast?
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with Adam Driver only
Okay.
because we were given more. We were given a lot more of him, and Donald Glover, as great as he was, had the movie and just the one movie. And um, so apparently Joseph is saying there is a link to the new Jedi Order movie being canceled.
Yeah, just you don't have to give us the actual link. Just tell us your source. Just tell us the website that you went to,
I'm gonna
because
look.
there's only a few handful of websites that are really legit, and the actual sources that you can really kind of trust. There's a lot of clickbait stuff out there. I mean, we've been doing this since 2018. We have lots of other Star Wars friends. We have other Star Wars people on social media. No one with true legitimacy on my friends list or all the contacts I have even mentioned anything like this. This sounds almost like it's just
So I subscribe, well, because I'm trying to be an actor, everybody. So I have IMDb Pro. Okay, so I have IMDb Pro because that's where a lot of stuff is listed, like agents' names and agents' addresses, which is kind of scary. Uh, but I looked on the IMDb Pro page, and on September 3rd, it was changed. The new Jedi Order was changed from pre-production to filming. So they have updated their status to filming now. I don't know. I mean, again, maybe they might be behind on the something could have happened, but yeah, all I know is that's what I'm going off of is that it's filming right now.
yeah, I want to
And
say we would have like heard something, but I mean, it didn't make sense to me in the beginning to have a movie in May and a movie in December because they have a horrible history of that. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that. If you have 1 year, one movie coming up in May or December, you can focus all your marketing and all your concentration on that one film. I don't know if there's like a quota they got to meet or a mandate or I don't know. It's just been an odd thing. So
we'll see. we'll see what's gonna happen with this thing, and I don't know. I don't I because I've heard so many rumors about this movie. A lot of rumors, like back in the day, they said the screenwriter left, and then he was like, "No, I didn't." He had to come out and tell people, "I'm still writing the movie." He goes, "I don't know why y'all
Yeah,
think I'm not writing this thing anymore." Stephen
yeah,
Knight, that's right. Stephen Knight was the one who said. Looks like so. Who's counted as the screenwriters are Justin Britt Gibson, Stephen Knight, and Damon Lindelof are credited as screenwriters for this movie with characters by George Lucas. Um, Stunts are being done. This is all just by IMDb Pro. Stunts are being done by Gary Powell, which that's exciting. Gary Powell is one of the best stuntmen out there. And that's all we know so far uh, for for the like behind the scenes and everything. But yeah, apparently they updated their status to filming. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And
yeah.
we only have one.
I think they also gave Daisy Ridley like $10 million.
Jeez,
So
good for her.
I think it's
She
happening. Yeah,
good for
I
her.
mean
She
they're pretty staunch on having that movie happen.
and
If it's in
as of
December or if they shift dates around, it's happening. But I always found it weird that
what?
they're gonna do a May and December movie.
We'll see. We'll see if they learn their lesson from Solo and Last Jedi. Maybe they said, okay, but what if we release it in May? We can get it going until I mean, the it's the fact that the stories. If this happens, I mean, we're not knocking Joseph's his research that he's been doing, but just hypothetically, if this does happen, Mando and Grogu come out in 2026 in May, and that plot is this plot, and then you're gonna introduce the new Jedi Order in December, audiences might not understand that that is not going to be connected directly to Mando and Grogu. And I think
Yeah,
that may throw some people because even when Rogue One came out, a lot of people don't remember this, but when Rogue One came out, a lot of people thought that was the next Star Wars movie. They thought that was
yeah.
Episode 8. And then they were like, "Oh, so that's Rey's mother, right?" And we're like, "No," because they were like,
I
"What do
knew
you
people that
mean?"
were saying that's Ray. That was
Oh
Ray,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
no.
there was a lot of that going around
Yeah,
when Rogue One was coming out, and it was just kind of difficult to kind of tell people, hey, this is its because at the time that was the first of its kind. That was the first Star Wars story. Um, so
that's
yeah,
when the crawl would have been so effective.
right. The talk is that Mando and Grogu movie is in May 2025, and in 2026 is supposed to be the Rogue Squadron instead of the New Jedi Order. Daisy isn't supposed to be in the Sean Levy's movie, which is being rewritten. I haven't heard any of this. This is
Yeah,
blowing me away right now, Joseph. Uh, I
yeah. I
wish you
don't
could.
think any of that is.
I wish you could send links because I wanna read all of this.
Well, what's like the website? That'll tell us a lot right
He
there.
said Epic Stream,
Okay, let me go to it.
which if that's true, that is wild. That is just absolutely wild, and
Hmm.
that would blow me away. But yeah, oh, it looks like Kathleen Kennedy is the only producer right now on the new Star Wars movie, so she's probably very, 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 very busy right now.
So
No, she's
epic,
not the.
so epicstream.com.
Yeah,
Is that what we're
is a
talking about?
trade, so they are
Yeah,
affiliated.
they ran a similar Donald Glover story. Um, what are the keywords I should use to look that up?
Daisy Ridley,
All right, Daisy
Charmine,
Ridley.
Chinoy.
Yeah, I mean I've seen those stories out there on different places, and okay, so it says Daisy Ridley Star Wars return reportedly delayed, but that's June.
Delayed.
That's June 13th, 2023.
Oh,
um,
that's when it was written. There's nothing. There's nothing sooner.
Star Wars actress Daisy Ridley reveals Graves' disease diagnosis, August 7th,
Oh yeah.
2024. Daisy Ridley reportedly involved in Sean Levy's movie. That's January 18th, 2024.
Oh, that was before
Yeah.
Charmine was
Yeah, I heard that Sean Levy
does
there's
want.
okay, so Jeff Snyder reported on that as well that
Yeah,
Sean Levy wants to do something Daisy Ridley centric.
I mean, I would want to do something Daisy Ridley centric. Not that way, but it's just the whole Ray character is amazing, and I think that's. And again, and David has said it before. they had the opportunity late 80s to do something with Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher, and they did not do anything. And so now it's like you Daisy Ridley is still young. Just put her in everything you possibly can, and just because I mean I don't know, because she's gonna get older, and then we're gonna be like, oh man, they missed a great opportunity with Daisy Ridley. So
Yeah,
look at
I
David;
don't.
he's focused right now.
Yeah, I don't see anything. What
There's
are the other
also
keywords? What's the keywords, Joseph? How do I find
uh,
this thing?
Joseph just dropped something else. There's also serious talk within that main gold sign of the Jedi may also be scrapped. Other news is that Bob Iger is on his way out and that they are actively searching for his replacement. I know
Yeah,
Bob Iger
to me,
said
all that
he's
sounds of like BS. It's just clickbait stuff. I don't think any of that is necessarily like
the only thing that's accurate
accurate.
is Bob Iger is doing his best to find the replacement. He said he is trying to
Yeah.
look for a replacement because everybody's like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? Like, I thought this was
Well, I mean,
temporary."
yeah, he retired. He was done.
Yeah, he was
He
gone.
was,
He was on a
yeah, I mean,
yacht.
Bob Iger was out of here. I mean, he was gone forever. But then
I have
pandemic
returned.
happened. Chapek was, I don't know, doing what he was doing.
I think Chapek was just given a crappy hand.
I
Like,
think I think Chapek wasn't the right mind to run Disney.
yeah,
Iger has the right mind to do what he's doing. I mean, you have to. I mean, a lot of credit has to be given to Bob Iger. He has made some missteps lately, but
oh yeah,
I mean, he has. I mean, you think about the whole like we talk about the Lucas foresight. I mean, he had a lot of foresight, man. And if he didn't, he got really lucky with buying Pixar and buying Marvel and buying
like
Star Wars.
Lucasfilm, yeah.
And there was
Eh,
that story too when he was at a particular park and he was sitting through a parade. And I think that was right when he got right when he got the job. He was like, "This is
mhm.
all we got." He's like, "We need more. We need more characters. We need more stories. How do we do that?" And then he acquired Pixar and
I think it was
then
yeah. He went
Marvel.
to I think it was Hong Kong, Disneyland Hong Kong, and he saw the
Yeah,
parade of all the Pixar characters, and how everybody was like freaking out. And he was just like, "Why don't we own Pixar? Like, why?
right.
Like, look at this." And then, of course, if you go to Disneyland California Adventure, Pixar Pier now exists. It used to not be Pixar Pier. I think it was just Santa Monica Pier, and then he revamped that whole place to be a Pixar oriented section of the park. But yeah, I know he is looking for his replacement, so we'll see. But that's as much as I've heard of Bob Iger.
Yeah, yeah. It's just one of those things, man. It's like, I mean, his heart, I think, is so much with Disney and trying to.
Yeah,
I don't think he's really thinking. I mean, there's some level of like thinking about legacy and that whole thing and ego and all that. But I mean, I think deep down, he's like he had to come back to right the ship essentially.
yeah.
And like I said, he did make some missteps, but there's really no one else out there that Disney can really be in better hands, I
Yeah, I think
think.
he's gonna be there for like another 5 years at least, and then
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
will rise up in the ranks, and then they'll pass it on to them. Man, it might be me because he and I are like best friends right now. Bob Iger and I are like the best of friends. Just kidding. Yeah, I've heard that story
yeah.
before. I'm not
Man,
gonna.
he's 73 as well.
Yeah, and he looks it too. I'm just joking.
So
I'm messing with you.
he's not a very young man there, but yeah, he made some incredible moves.
Oh, Darth Beard. Totally off topic, but have you seen the upcoming Lego set of Jabba sail barge? It has a freaking Max Rebo minifig.
Yep,
I
yep.
think Colin
Colin,
has already pre-ordered that um, already. I'm just kidding. I haven't seen it
yeah.
yet, but I just saw the
I've seen
Tatooine
it.
set. Yeah.
It looks pretty good. I'm not necessarily a big Lego fan. I bought a Lego Millennium Falcon, and every time I look at it, it just falls apart. I don't understand how Lego is so successful and so expensive.
it's
I just
it
do not understand.
it man,
I
kids.
mean, it's not like a toy you can buy and like play with it.
Yeah.
Not saying that I play with toys or anything, but I mean, you buy a toy maybe to kind of like even like move it around to a different shelf. Yeah, like James, like he can just pick that up and
Yeah.
wave it around. It's not gonna like blow up in his
Nope.
hands. That's what all these Legos do to me. They just like disintegrate. It's like I'm Boba Fett or something. Yeah, that's an awesome ship. Is that the
The Target.
squadrons?
Yeah, the Target one. Yeah.
Nice.
It's so cool. I also have the
That's an awesome
Naboo.
line.
Yes, they are very very good. I had a ski speeder. I think it's in the other room. But I also have the ski speeder. I have this one, and I also bought the Naboo starfighter, and it has a little Anakin that goes inside with R2D2. It's pretty cool, and I
That's
was
nice.
really excited about that. But Lego, yeah, Rebuild the Galaxy dropped on Friday, this past Friday. They did it in episodes, which I wasn't expecting them to do
But they
because
released
they're
them all, right?
yeah, they released them all at once,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, Disney, you're trying your best to, you know, I don't know. It's really funny because people are like, oh, I'll watch this, but I'm not going to watch a whole movie. Anyways, because the other Lego movies were movies. They were full, not feature length, but they were just one long movie. Um, and I watched the Rebuild a Galaxy on Disney Plus, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was cute and kind of they went a certain way at the very end, which I was really shocked that they did that. I don't want to give too much away, but they did something kind of crazy at the very end with it. And voice actors were all great. Everybody was awesome. Mark Hamill is back. Ahmed Best came back as, of course, that's the big thing is Darth Jar Jar, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot, and I like to watch these things because it makes me feel like, oh man, if I was a kid, this would have just been the greatest thing in the whole world during that 90s era, that the dark times, as David and I call it, where there was nothing Star Wars for a while. Yeah, there it is. And yeah, I thought it was really great.
That
Thought it was
Black
fun.
Falcon is pretty
It's pretty
hard
sick.
looking. Yeah.
Oh man, they did this thing, and I'm gonna tell you this part. There's a moment where it's in the battle, all hope is lost, and the Falcon shows up, and they framed it the same way as the Falcon coming down in A New Hope whenever Han Solo showed up, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. That is just the best. It made me happy to see that, and yeah, so it's really cool that there's a generation of kids out there who are being introduced to Star Wars this way. Like this this might have been their first thing ever of watching Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And again, we are a very, very positive podcast. We don't badmouth. You know what I mean? I don't understand
We
why.
show respect. We
Yeah, I
put
don't understand why.
respect on people's names.
Yeah, why somebody would be like, "Oh, this was the dumbest thing ever. I can't believe they would make this Star Wars thing, the Legos," and it's like it's not. It's there's a generation out there that are watching it and loving it right now. Let them discover Star Wars, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be great.
Yeah. And I'm too old for that, James. I mean, I'm 43 years old. I have adult children. I
That is
mean,
the
I
only
could
way that they can
theoretically
do.
be a grandpa,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
could be.
I'm just too old for all that, man. So, yeah, I don't really partake in all that. I mean, who knows how much longer any of us are really going to live, and do you want to
Oh,
spend the
dude,
rest of your
let's
time
what are we doing
talking
right
about all
now?
that?
What are you doing? What are you doing right now? This got really dark all of a sudden.
That's not dark.
Uh,
That's reality, man. That's life. That's Star Wars.
but I like what Darth Beard said, which was this is the only way they can do Star Wars What If, which is very
Yeah,
true,
that would be
and
fantastic.
I
We,
really hope they do. And this kind of was not really, but they did do it. It kind of was like a What If, you know what I
so
mean?
yeah, I
Where
mean, if you look at the characters on the poster, it looks like everyone has flipped from light side to dark side and vice versa. So,
and if you look at there's a good Easter egg on this thing. If you look at Greedo,
oh
what he's
wow,
wearing,
yeah, solo stuff.
it's really great. I laughed hysterically at this moment.
So is that
And
Luke right next to him, or who is that?
yeah, that's Luke.
Okay,
And then Leia's next to
he's
Greedo.
shirtless, wearing a vest.
Yes. And he's wearing Anakin's medallion. He's wearing that in that galaxy. When Anakin
Oh,
carved for Padme, he's wearing it here. And if you look at Darth Maul over there, he's dressed as Lando,
right.
so you realize he's not the villain. Akbar is
Yeah.
dressed as a clone trooper, and Rose Tico is evil, and then Rey is a little bit above her, she's also evil. And
Wow.
it was great. the droid there, I forgot what his name was, but he had some really good moments. And like, you know how they do the faces at the beginning of the episodes,
Hmm.
and they did the Lego ones, and his face in the first episode was blank, and then on the second episode his face was alive, and it was really cool because he's like, "You're watching Star Wars, yay!" And then like, I was like, "Oh, that's funny," you know. And then in the third one, it was gray, and it was like, I was like, "Oh shit!" It got like really dark all of a sudden, and yeah, it was pretty good.
And if you look to the left, you see an X-wing cockpit, but it has
Yeah.
like the Tie
Oh,
Fighter panels there.
yeah, and the sound effect is it's like a hybrid of the TIE fighter and the X-Wing. And then the TIE fighter is a hybrid of an X-Wing and a TIE fighter. So you see the
Wow.
TIE fighter's cockpit is the X-Wing. And of course the X-Wing that we know is for the Empire, and then the TIE fighter is the Rebellion.
Yeah.
It's just it was fun. I don't know who, like, these guys, and these people who thought about it, you can tell they were having a great time with it, but not, making it for kids, but also making it a good lesson, and making it fun. Seriously, David, just watch it. It's so good. Darth Beard says so.
No, James, I will not. No, I'm gonna watch it. I'm just finding a good time too.
Yeah,
Luckily this week, I'm working with Countdown at
nice.
Fantastic Fest, doing press stuff over there. So I took all my pizza delivery days off, so I won't be delivering at night. That's kind of why we're doing a podcast right now on a Monday
Yeah.
night. But going back to the Black Falcon, I would go to Walmart and see them there for like $170, and I was
God.
thinking, man, it'd be cool to have one to give away at
Mm-hmm.
SpaceCon coming up. Do like a giveaway, and SpaceCon is coming up. And if you look at the screen here, there are 13 Star Wars celebrities
That's
scheduled to
incredible.
be there. Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, Ray Park, Ahmed Best, Giancarlo Esposito, Katie Sackhoff, Gina Carano, Ming Na Wen, Matthew Wood, Iman Esfandi, Natasha Lou Bordizzo, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Ah, so cool.
That is so awesome. So yeah, if you can't make it to Japan, could you make it to Texas? That's the question. And see me, Colin, Zach, James.
Maybe James. I do want to go. I do want to go, but it's
So
just
yeah,
things
James is
are.
from here. James is currently located in the entertainment capital of the world. But
I'm trying.
yeah, hopefully he will make the trip. I'm talking about this like he's not here. But yeah, hopefully James will make the trip.
I just want to say I also love technology that you and I are able to do this from halfway across the country, and we're able to talk to each other as if we're in the same
Yeah.
room with each other. It's been a long
Yeah.
time since that's just kidding. But Bender
Wasn't
says
it
he can't
last
make it
year?
either. What's up?
Wasn't it last year?
Yeah, but we didn't podcast when I was there.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, we haven't podcasted in the same room in like three years.
yeah.
Bender said he can't make it either to SpaceCon, but don't worry. I know if I'm there, even if David's there, we're gonna be posting stuff on on Instagram and Facebook and everything and TikTok, and we're letting y'all see how it is there, and hopefully we can. And I know we'll be able to meet some of the people, not probably not like the big guys, but I know we might be able to like have a conversation with a few of the people before they go onto the stage.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I went last year to the superhero uh, con convention. That was a lot of fun, and so I have a feeling this is going to be a lot of fun. And if you're a Marvel fan, there's also going to be a lot of Marvel people there too. And a big one they just announced this past week was Josh Brolin is going to be there, and that's pretty big because Josh Brolin really doesn't do conventions, and so he's going to be there, and so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's really close with Robert Rodriguez, who
Yes.
lives close by in Austin. And Zach was telling me that he's going to bring his Infinity War poster he's never taken out of the poster tube
Oh
and
my
have him
gosh,
sign it, which is a
that's
great thing to do.
that's so great.
I mean, it's funny because after Darth Vader, I think it's Thanos.
Oh yeah,
Thanos is the second best cinematic villain of all time.
yeah. He was great. He was really good, and yeah, I love Josh Brolin since Goonies, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, if you go, you get to see everybody, all the people you saw there from Star Wars, as well as some Marvel people and Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica. What other franchise am I missing?
Stargate.
Stargate, yeah, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty. It's gonna be a pretty cool convention. And what's really great is this is the first year they're doing Space Con if it's a success, which we all think it's probably going to be a huge success, next year is going to be even bigger, and he's probably going to be able to bring in more of the big boys and big those big names.
So I have some information that I'm
Uh
not
oh,
quite sure if I can talk about.
I don't think you should talk
So
about
maybe
it.
I shouldn't talk about it, but
Yeah,
I will say this. Um, what can I say?
I don't know. Now I'm a little.
I'm not sure. Let's just say there's been significant investment in what we're talking about.
Oh,
Um, maybe I'll just leave it at that because I'm not
okay.
sure if I can say what I know. I don't think I was told not to say it, but I don't know. I know
If
I'm being very vague right now. But
yeah.
anyways, all I'm saying is if even if you can make it to Japan, coming to San Antonio during October, we'll be there. We'll be at a booth. We'll be giving away stuff like we always do. We usually play the Chance Cube game, and you can build up to bigger and bigger prizes. I'll let you guys in. I bought some lightsabers, some
Ooh.
some not like actual like Galaxy's. I have Galaxy's Edge lightsabers to give away, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about just like the fun ones, just to kind of
Yeah.
like play with for the convention. I'm gonna check some of those out. We talked about Mosh Isley. You could buy some there. There were some of those that we found on sale. Not sure if I'm gonna buy a bunch of those because those are actually kind of expensive. But we're gonna have some new items to give out. Also, I have a few Fennec Shand hot toys.
Ooh.
Um, they're kind of like Funko Pop line of figures. I bought a bunch of those. So if you come to our booth, you can pick one of those up and get it signed by Ming Na Wen herself because she will be there. Also, I have a lot of Obi-Wan Kenobi pins. I bought a lot of those too, the big Funko Pop pins.
Yeah.
You could take it right to Ewan McGregor there and get it signed, or just simply wear it. I mean, it's a huge pin. Um, I also have some Black Series that I bought specifically for Space Con to give away. So
So we got you
if
covered.
yeah, if you're looking for stuff, come by the booth. There's
Yeah.
no limit to how many times you play. There's no specific rules. The rules are very muddled with that. But
Yeah.
if yeah,
You did a good job. And
yeah.
Bender was asking the question that we were all wondering, which is, did you get actual lightsabers? Because the way you described it, you were like, I got lightsabers. And we are like,
Well,
oh,
okay, so we haven't really decided what we're gonna do with this huge haul of lightsabers we got. So James
oh,
is actually gonna get an Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber that I promised him that he's been wanting.
I'm so
So
excited
he's
because
getting that's his anniversary gift. You
yeah,
get
because
the 5 year anniversary mark.
I have a Dooku lightsaber and I have a Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber. So I want to get Obi-Wan, then I want to get Anakin as well. And that's like I want to get the masters and everything. And then maybe eventually because Yoda's is more expensive than all of theirs, so then maybe I'll get
Yeah,
Yoda's, which is crazy because Yoda's is smaller, which is really funny, but his is the most expensive lightsaber out there.
yeah. I actually got it sitting right next to me.
Yeah, you don't talk about it. But anyways, but yeah, I'm gonna get the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And we also have the light side Dooku lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge. You have the dark side, the light side.
Yeah,
It's a little less angular, but it is pretty cool. I put in one of my blades and made sure it worked, and yeah, it works. Also, we have a couple of Maul hilts, which are both
ooh,
signed by Sam Witwer, and Ray Park hopefully will sign the other side of the hilt. And we're not quite sure what we're gonna do with that, but something really cool, hopefully.
yeah.
And it's gonna cost us to get Ray Park's autograph on the
Oh
blade,
man,
but I mean Ray Park, he's such a nice guy at these things. I mean, he just always just bends over backwards trying to accommodate the fans. So
I was obsessed with Ray Park after Phantom Menace. Like I was like, oh, this is the greatest actor in the world. Like I was just so happy about Ray Park. And then he was in X Men. He was Toad in X Men. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And yeah, it's exciting to know. Like if I'm there, I'm gonna do my best to just to see him in like close because I've been in the same room with him. We have been, at the at Star Wars Celebration. We've been in the same room with
Yeah.
Ray Park, and that was surreal. I was like, I cannot believe I'm sitting here with Ray Park. So yeah, that's so cool. Maybe I'll get him to sign this. Just kidding.
Yeah, the other thing I kind of wanted to bring up is Tops is they've been doing this for a while, and I haven't. I mean, when I was a little kid, I collected baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards. I have a huge, well, not maybe a huge collection, but it was huge for me because I was buying it with like my own like allowance money and like begging my parents when we go to the grocery store or whatever to get me a pack of cards. But I still have those cards. But I started collecting again a couple years back, and Topps makes some really nice Star Wars cards. And I've been lucky enough to get a couple of autographs out of those cards, out of those packs.
Oh no.
Just recently, my favorite NBA basketball player, who I hope to have on this podcast, possibly, Victor Wembanyama. He's a huge Star Wars fan, and you can see in some of his interviews he refers to Star Wars. He refers to Revenge of the Sith as his favorite film ever.
Nice.
Not just Star Wars film. So yeah, we're hoping that we can maybe talk to his people, which I'm currently trying to get in contact with, and maybe have him go to SpaceCon, and we can introduce him to Hayden Christensen, because of course a lot of us have already met him and met you, and I think that would be an awesome opportunity. But he was just at a place in San Antonio called Boomtown Sports Cards, and he did like a little event where it was I think a select group of kids were invited to be there. He shows up and he started opening packs of not basketball, not sports, but Star Wars cards.
What?
And he was ripping them open, and he was naming all the characters, and all the kids were freaking out. And he actually, so he opened a pack of cards and he pulled an autograph. And I don't know who the autograph is for, or what character or what actor, but he did pull an autograph. And I was trying to listen like really hard to see who he pulled, but I have a young Luke's autograph, and I have the autograph of one of the actors inside one of the suits from The Force Awakens.
Nice.
I think those are the two I have. But I want to get him on the podcast, talk Star Wars. I mean, it'd be really cool to get his, because he grew up in France up until he was 19 years old, because he got drafted to the San Antonio Spurs, which they play in San Antonio, where SpaceCon is happening. He's back from the Olympics. He played the American team, and France took the silver medal, which we all kind of figured. But yeah, I really love to have him on the podcast, talk to him about Star Wars, get his opinions on stuff, and
That'd be so cool.
yeah, and just kind of talk to him. It would be a surreal experience. I think that would be, talking to him would be a little. I'm trying to, like, I did San Diego Comic-Con this past summer, and I didn't feel the way I think I thought I was gonna feel when I saw those celebrities so up close. I didn't. Maybe because we've seen so many people at this point, Maybe I'm a little.
You're getting a little jaded.
Yeah, a little jaded with the whole thing. I mean, it's totally cool to see celebrities up close and everything, but I mean, I'm not as taken aback as I used to be. And I saw Victor play 12 times in person last year.
Wow.
So, and I got a high five from him when we did a tunnel experience thing for season ticket holders, and I got to take my daughter. She's a Spurs fan as well. But yeah, I want him on the podcast. I want to talk to him, and yeah, who knows what happens from there. But SpaceCon in October is going to be awesome. Trying to figure out whose autograph I'm going to get. It's going to be difficult, man. It's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, because geez, like all their autographs would be great to have.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are 13 people pictured on screen. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, you can clearly see them. So out of these 13 people, I've met Ewan, Hayden, Rosario, Ray Park, Ahmed Best, Giancarlo, Katie, Ming Na Wen. I've seen Matthew Wood from a distance. So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people on this graphic I
That's
have met.
incredible.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, a couple years ago, yeah, that wasn't the case. Because when I went to London, I met Hayden for the first time, and Rosario, and Giancarlo. Giancarlo has done so many conventions, and he's been in San Antonio a lot, and I've always kind of missed him for whatever reason. But then, of course, Ahmed Best at Rebel Scum Con in Dallas. But I kind of held out for SpaceCon to get my photo op with
Mm.
him. And then, of course, James had that epic conversation with Katie Sackhoff behind the curtain there.
It makes you sound
So,
so bad, you know. Oh, and Joseph pointed something out. We talked about it before, which is Ray Park was also the stunt
yeah.
double for Sleepy Hollow. So whenever
Yeah,
you watch
that was
Sleepy
awesome.
Hollow, and you see the headless horseman fighting, that is Ray Park fighting. And
Look at the way he holds the sword and twirls the sword.
oh
It's
yeah,
Ray Park's signature all over that.
and
Yeah.
Nick Gillard, who was the stunt coordinator for all the prequels, was the stunt coordinator for Sleepy Hollow as well. And it's really funny if you watch Sleepy Hollow because they filmed it in London, and then you look at the crew for the Phantom Menace. A lot of those people were the same people. A lot of them, like the assistant director, was the same, stunt coordinator, stunt man, and a lot of the crew was like the same people who made Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
And then plus you have Christopher Lee and Ian McDermott were also in
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow as well. So
Yeah.
you had 3 Sith in the movie, and
And spooky season is here essentially.
and I know this is a Star Wars podcast, but I think Sleepy Hollow is one of Tim Burton's like best movies, and that's like a good Halloween movie to watch, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
You know, one of my core theater going memories is going to watch Sleepy Hollow at the Starplex in San Marcos,
That's crazy.
where the Star Wars Stuff podcast was born, the city was born.
Yeah.
And I just remember the vibe, man. I remember walking in there and it was a full house and people. This was before seat assignments too,
Yeah, you just
so
had
we
to
were
rush
looking
in
for a
there.
seat
Yeah.
to sit, and that was
Oh,
that was always such a nerve wracking experience.
yeah. I
I'm
can't
glad
believe we
that's kind
did
of
that,
gone,
and we all thought that
but
was normal. You know, like.
yeah, we were like animals back then. But yeah, I remember the vibe. I remember everyone was like hyped, you know, and it was kind of before the internet as it is now, as
Yeah.
social media. But you could feel people being excited about like, okay, we're gonna get a Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow movie. I
And it
mean,
delivered.
what's more right up that Tim Burton's alley than Sleepy Hollow live
Yeah.
action, you know? And then yeah, like you said, Ian McDermott, Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, Christopher Lee, um,
Christopher
Michael,
Walken,
Mike, yeah, well, I haven't
Michael
got there yet.
Gambon.
Yeah, Michael Gambon was there. Yeah, before
That's
he was
right.
Dumbledore.
And then Jeffrey
Um,
Jones. We can't talk about Jeffrey Jones. Yeah, he was
who?
Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones. Who's that?
He was the dad on Beetlejuice. He was also in The Hunt for Red
Oh,
October.
okay.
But we can't talk about Jeffrey Jones anymore.
The guy that
Um,
wasn't in the second film,
yeah, for good reason too.
Mr. Dietz.
What?
His
Oh
name
yeah,
is
that's
Dietz,
right.
right?
Yeah, Dietz. Yeah, and he was also, and then the guy from Dursley, Vernon Dursley from Harry Potter was in there as well.
Yes,
That
yes,
cast was
yes.
stacked.
It was loaded.
It was amazing, and the look of that movie. Emmanuel, I think Emmanuel Lubezki was the DP for that movie, if I'm not
Really?
mistaken. Yeah,
Wow.
and I know, guys, Star Wars, but we're talking about Sleepy
It's
Hollow.
Star Wars related. There's Star Wars actors in there.
Yeah, we always say, you know, that was like a prequel to the Phantom Menace and the Attack of the Clones, because you had 3 Sith Lords in there, and the fight sequences look a little bit like, you know,
Ray Park?
right, you know. And what's great was, yeah, because Ray Park was brought on as just the stuntman, and I think also kind of the choreographer for the fights for the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And then Benicio del Toro, if I'm not mistaken, was cast as Darth Maul, but then when he got a new script, he realized all of Darth Maul's lines were gone, and he said, "I'm not going to do this now." And then that's when they offered it to Ray Park, and then they did the whole David Prowse thing where they replaced Ray Park's voice with Peter Serafinowicz. I can never say
Yeah,
that guy's last.
Serafinowicz.
Serafinowicz, and
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's not Ray Park's actual voice. And
There was somebody that went to a convention where Peter Serafinowicz was signing, and he told the story in detail why he took over as the voice and
oh
why he
wow.
hasn't returned. And I'm not sure what the details are, but I heard it. And I just kind of forgot it, but I thought
And
that
then
was
here's
kind of
another
cool.
thing he did the voice for Maul in Solo, a Star Wars story. He recorded those lines,
Yeah,
and I think he found out either day of or day
yeah,
before they said we redubbed it with Sam Witwer, the voice
yeah.
of the man who did the Clone
Which
Wars
I think makes
cartoon.
more sense. I mean, because Sam Witwer kind of is
And
more the voice than Peter Serafinowicz.
and he also said the same thing. He goes, I was a little hurt, but at the same time, it made sense for the fans that that's the voice they hear, and you recognize it automatically. And so yeah, I think that's funny. And then what's even funnier was how David Prowse didn't even know his voice had been dubbed over by James Earl Jones until he saw the movie on opening night, and then apparently he was like distraught. And I think he said he wasn't going to come. He didn't want to. He almost didn't want to come back for Empire. And
Well, he told people what happened in Empire, and they laughed at him,
yeah.
right?
No, that was a whole. He just had a prediction for the movie that happened to be right. Like that was this was
I
before the
don't know
script even
about
came
that,
out.
James.
This is what David Prowse says. I mean, he's gone. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2020. But
Right,
yeah, he
right.
had said that he had
In
the
2020, right?
yeah 2020
Yeah.
the news article was out before the script was even like he was even given the script is what he says. Like the dates match
Yeah.
up apparently that he just kind of threw out that prediction, and then when the movie came out that yeah, and apparently yeah he was like I don't want to come back. I'm not coming back if y'all are just not going to use my voice. And I think either Kurtz or Kirshner was like, okay, well we're just going to recast you then. Like you're not going to affect the movie at all if you're not in here.
Mm.
And so he said, okay, I'll come back. And then, of course, we all know when it came time to Return of the Jedi, he really was never even in the suit in Return of the Jedi, unfortunately, except for a few moments. And of course, the key moment of picking up Ian McDermott and throwing him off the rail into a bag because they couldn't figure out how to do it. And he was like, I can pick him up and just throw him. And they're like, what? He goes, yeah, watch. And he just, so yeah.
Uh,
And oh yeah, he thought he was gonna be unmasked like that. He thought that was his part,
oh.
and he said he was there ready, and he's ready. And then Sebastian Stan came in. Yeah,
Sebastian
exactly.
Stan.
Sebastian Shaw came in. That's a hell of a mistake to make, man. Because it's
Well,
funny.
not
Anyways,
really. I mean,
Sebastian
what other
Shaw
Sebastians are out there?
came in, and then
I
that's when
mean,
he realized, oh well, he's the one who's gonna
the
be
lobster from Little Mermaid and Bastion from Neverending Story. I
exactly.
mean,
See,
this
so
is,
it's a
I mean,
common thing.
yeah.
But yeah, and apparently Sebastian Shaw had no idea why he was there. It was like no
And he looks
joke.
nothing like Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, he tells the story that he was on set, and I think Ian McDermott, who knew him, was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I don't know." He goes, "I was just my agent just told me to show up, and I'm here, and I'm just gonna wait." And then that's like that day they said, "Okay, you're gonna be these are the lines. You're gonna be Vader unmasked, and here we're gonna put the makeup on you."
Man, I love Kevin Smith's story when he first saw Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah.
He was like, "What? Vader's just some old crusty white guy."
But
He's like, "I thought he was a black guy."
But what was
Because of
so
James
yeah,
Earl
because
Jones'
James Earl
voice.
Jones
Yeah.
was the voice. But what's so great about that reveal, it was so good. It was so good that it was Sebastian Shaw under the mask. Like
Yeah.
when he takes off, you just see it's just this old man just suffering. And I was like, that was the foresight of them to be like, this is what he should look like. He should look
Yeah.
not what you're expecting,
The
but
most
just
intimidating figure in all of
yeah,
cinema, and then it's just some old
old
man
man
that's all burnt and
yep,
bald and
so good.
yeah.
And the fact they really didn't know what he was supposed to look like in Empire, they just were like, we're gonna put the back on David Prowse here, and that was kind of like the idea. And then
Yeah.
they're able to make the face and the makeup and everything in Return of the Jedi. But yeah, yeah, Hey, look, we talked about Return of the Jedi. See, we're still talking about Star Wars. Everybody, we know what we're doing.
So check out this piece of art that's been floating around the internet. It's now my
It's your
wallpaper on my
screensaver.
phone. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, that is awesome. That is.
And see, so this picture, I mean, it kind of reminds me of my dad in a way because I mean, he had kind of like those same like features, and he would wear glasses,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, just for some reason, it reminds me of my dad. But yeah,
And
there's a lot of awesome art out there.
I wasn't. I didn't podcast when James Earl Jones passed away. Very very sad day for
Yeah.
stage and film alike. He was a tremendous actor. And I know most of y'all know the story, but James Earl Jones is the reason I got into Star Wars because my mom and dad had bought me The Lion King on
Hmm.
VHS, and then my old man was like, "Oh, James Earl Jones, that's the voice of Darth Vader." And I said, "Who's Darth Vader?" And then that's
Oh
when I saw
man.
the picture and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" And that's when my brothers were like, "It's Star Wars." And then they rented me Return of the Jedi because they didn't know A New Hope was the first one. They just rented me Return of the Jedi. So I watched Return of the Jedi first, and I
Uh,
heard the voice, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's Mufasa! That's Mufasa! That's so great!" And then I went back and watched the rest of them. But yeah, so yeah, James Earl Jones is the reason I watched Star Wars in the first place,
yeah.
and he had. I think I was talking to Jamie and Joe about this, and if I'm not mistaken, James Earl Jones might be the most distinct voice in cinematic history, like
Oh,
the
he is.
most recognizable, powerful voice in cinematic history is
Yeah,
James
he
Earl
totally
Jones.
is.
And man, he was one of the best. He was an EGOT, which there's not many of them out there, but he was an EGOT, which means he's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Oh, and a Golden Globe, I think. I think that's the
The Golden Globe doesn't count any
oh yeah,
got
that's right.
though.
It's just the
Yeah.
Emmy, the Grammy, the
Emmy,
Oscar,
Grammy, Oscar,
and a
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he was an EGOT, which I think there's like less than 20 out there right now. So yeah.
I mean, there's one person that's almost about close to doing it 3 times over.
Who is it?
It's the
I was about to say it's a Barbara Streisand or something.
no. Well, I mean, close. I mean, it's
Yeah.
he's actually a Latino. He's the
Oh.
guy that wrote the music for Frozen.
Oh, Lin
And
Manuel Miranda. Oh, that's right.
no,
Yeah.
no, no,
No,
not
not
him.
Lin.
It's
Oh,
another guy.
Gonzalez. I know exactly who you're talking about. He
Yeah,
and his
and he has a
wife wrote.
wife partner as well
Yeah,
that helps him, or they both do that thing and they marry each other. And
and they also wrote Agatha All Along, in case you're wondering.
right, yeah.
And I think they won they won something for that one. And then they of course they've won Oscars. I think they've won the Golden Globe. I think they've won Tonys. Oh yeah, he helped write the Book of Mormon. He
Ah,
helped write Book of Mormon, and that's where he got
yeah.
his Tony. I guess he doesn't
I
have an.
mean,
Um, is he an EGOT now? Now I'm wondering, is he
who?
that guy who we're talking about, Gonzalez, whatever his name is?
Oh, he's
Like,
about to do it for the third time,
oh,
bro.
that's right. That's what we're talking about. I was gonna say
Yeah.
no, he
I
has
don't
it.
think Lin Manuel Miranda is one away from being an EGOT, I believe.
That's
I think he's an
crazy.
Oscar away, right?
Maybe. Speaking of that, I saw Hamilton for the first time this past week in
Nice.
Hollywood. It was
Any
great.
Star Wars
Anyways,
references?
yeah. Again, yeah. Who knew that Lin Manuel Miranda was a huge Star Wars fan and he wrote the Cantina song for The Force Awakens, Jabba Flow, which is my ringtone to this day. Is still Jabba Flow, but it's the 8-bit version of it, which is just amazing. Um, and if you look closely in Rise of Skywalker, he's in there. He's like in the background during the celebration after the battle. So, anyways, all right.
So what else you got, James?
What else do I got? It's about it when it comes to Star Wars news. And we talked about Tim Burton, and what else? What else?
So everyone watching us right now, listening to us, do us a favor. Go out to Twitter, to our handle at StuffPod. I posed a question this weekend. I don't think I got any answers on it, but if you go out, I'll go out right now and I'll read it to you guys. But it's in regards to her. So I'm gonna go out right now. It's Daisy Ridley. So the question I posed, and I'm really curious to see what other people um, think about this. What types of changes, evolution, do you want to see in Rey's character in the new Jedi Order film?
Ooh.
Because that's something I like kind of randomly think about. Um, I mean, is she gonna be like just like a master? Is she gonna be like just like a knight? Is there gonna be like differences between what we've seen before in the past and now? I mean, what are we gonna see? And of course, we all kind of wish that John Boyega shows up as a Jedi Master alongside of her. I mean, that would be a great surprise if they don't announce it. But how is she gonna be? Because it's 15 years into the future.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're gonna see a Rey who is unsure, almost like Luke was with rebuilding the Jedi Order at the end of Return of the Jedi, and
So you think there's gonna be an unsureness to her?
I think she's gonna be a little unsure because she's gonna be all by herself.
So after 15 years, you feel like she's still gonna be like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe if it was like 3 years after, that would make sense.
But I mean,
yeah, 15.
So 15 years is kind of a long time. Are they gonna age her up a little bit, or are they just gonna like let her be? Like
I think they're
she
gonna
looks
age her
now?
up ever so slightly.
But
I
if you
think
look
they're
at the track record of all these women in Star Wars, like Katie Sackhoff looks pretty young to be like a late
yeah,
50-year-old. So,
yeah, that's true. Ming Na Wen does not look what she's
well,
60,
Ming Na
right?
Wen is like not even like human. I mean,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah, I
like
saw
some
her
other
up close and
species.
I was like, I don't understand you right now. You look the same as the Joy Luck Club. And like that doesn't make any sense. But maybe there will be Broom Boy from Last Jedi. Yeah, I mean that's again, of course, I'm a broken record, but Duel of the Fates did have Broom Boy at the very end of the movie. He's there with Rose Tico and John Boyega at the very end of the Duel of the Fates
Oh.
script. Yeah, because they what's up?
I think people misinterpreted Broom Boy to
Oh,
like
I
the
mean,
nth
yeah.
degree. It was just to show that other people in the universe had the
No,
Force. He wasn't meant to be like a main character at some point.
and I think that's what a lot of people thought because before The Last Jedi came out, we were all told that Ryan Johnson was going to get his own trilogy. So
Right.
everybody thought at the end of The Last Jedi that that character was setting up his trilogy, but that wasn't the case at all. I think The Last Jedi has one of my favorite Star Wars endings. Like that last shot of the kid there is so great. It's so great.
Darth
Anyway,
Beard, I salute you for the comment.
yeah. Sorry, there's somebody outside on a moped or
Jackhammering
something.
outside your window.
No, it's just somebody on like a little bike. I don't know. It's just so
Oh,
loud.
I think I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, jeez. But
So, like, speaking of that, my niece, she's going to Texas State,
oh, nice.
and
Go
she
Bobcats.
said her
or
dorm.
whatever.
She's like, she can hear everyone outside of her window. She said, like, they're like her, like the people that live next to her in a college dorm, they have a side hustle where they're cutting hair constantly, cutting people's hair, and she can hear everything. And
That's
she's
phenomenal.
like, "Can I come to your house for the weekend to get away? Like my crazy house with all the dogs and stuff. I need some peace and quiet." I'm like, "Okay."
Texas State. That's where I went to college, everybody. That's where I went to university. I graduated from there too. And
The
that's funny.
Bobcats.
I did not live in the dorm though. I was old enough to just go straight to my own little apartment in
Nice.
San Marcos when I went. So I didn't get to experience dorm life, and I'm kind of excited I didn't get to. But what was I gonna say? What were we talking about? We were talking about
We're
Daisy
talking about
Ridley. Yeah,
Star Wars.
let's talk about
Okay.
Star Wars. But yeah, with I have a feeling they're gonna do something kind of interesting with her. Is I don't think she's gonna be the main character of this movie. I think she's gonna be like there's gonna be a younger person, and she's gonna be training them, and then I think we're gonna be mostly concentrating on the new person. Mind you, I don't want that. I don't want that to be the case. I want a fully Daisy Ridley centered Star Wars movie, Rey Skywalker Star Wars movie.
And then you're gonna get the people that say, "Oh, we already got a trilogy of her. We don't need
Yeah.
another movie."
Which is why I think a lot of people said the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show like suffered because it wasn't really focused a lot on Obi-Wan Kenobi. We had
The Leia
other
aspect.
side characters we
Yeah.
had to that they introduced that we were like, okay, we're gonna go with this person now. I think that's what they're gonna do with the new Jedi Order movie. I don't want them to do that. Like I said, I want a movie about Rey discovering, ways of the Force, discovering how to train. Also, I just love the fact of turning it into like an Indiana Jones type movie where she's out looking for ancient artifacts of the Jedi lore and learning about the Jedi that way. I think that'd also be really, really cool. And yeah, I think she's going to be pretty powerful, but I think she's also going to be a little nervous about continuing the legacy of the Jedi, as well as her own like background and her lineage as well. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, we shall see. Time will tell. Hopefully, that news that Joseph said that they're going to pull back to one movie, and that one movie would be Mando Grogu. I don't think that's the case. I think maybe that's just like speculation and rumors and hearsay and all that stuff. But it feels like it's still a go. Yeah, I love that ship. What's the name of that ship?
This is the Sith Infiltrator
The
from
Infiltrator.
from
Yeah.
and then inside I'm not going to
God,
do
that's
it
cool,
now.
man.
But if you open up the back, I think I have I have the speeder and Qui-Gon just thrown back there because I didn't know what to do with Qui-Gon because
Oh, he
he's
comes with it?
yeah,
Oh,
Qui-Gon comes with
wow.
it, and then
Gosh,
I know guys, we're just opening toys here.
it's
How do you
Star Wars.
open this? Oh yeah, then you open up the top, and then I don't know if you can kind of
Oh,
see.
nice.
I have
Yeah, it's pretty
Darth.
detailed inside.
Yeah, you can seat people there,
Yeah.
and I think
See Maul right there in the front.
I couldn't put Qui-Gon there, but yeah, Maul's there in the front, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I like
So,
if you go to Target, yeah, look for these things. They're pretty awesome. They're pretty detailed as well. So yeah,
man, I'm gonna have to buy some.
yeah, do
I
it.
like the smaller toys like that. I was always a fan, even as a kid. I mean, if they look accurate, they look detailed enough. Yeah, man.
This was my
Yeah,
first Force. This was the Force Friday Force Awakens buy. This was what I bought on
I
that
think I
first
have
Force
one
Friday.
too.
And I was so
Yeah,
excited
got the
because it had
square.
the
Yeah,
new antenna. I was
the
like, oh my
rectangle.
gosh, this was like on my bed post or my bed board or whatever for a very long time. And so now I just have it here.
Yeah, Bender loves the vintage collection figures.
I love it. I love it so much. It's so
Yeah,
great. And like I said, I do have a ski speeder from Empire as well as the Naboo N1 Starfighter, but they're not here right now.
yeah.
And I also have a snow speeder. I have a ski speeder from Last Jedi also over here. Yeah, I love it. It's so cool. I like being an adult because I can just buy Star Wars stuff. You know what I mean? Like I could just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to buy this," and I just buy it. And it's so great to be an adult now to just do that because when I was a kid I couldn't do that. So
Yeah, yeah,
and but anyways, but yeah,
yeah. I think I do want to invest in some of those micro squadron
do it.
vehicles.
Cuz I think they have
They got
the
everything. I've seen
yeah, they
just
got
about everything.
I was
They got
going
a
to
lot
say
of prequel stuff.
yeah, okay, yeah, cuz they got the I was about to say the bongo from oh, that's what it's called
Yes,
from
General
Phantom
Kenobi's
Menace.
bunker just found one for like cheap.
Yeah, they haven't. They're at this Target I go to. It's like nobody buys the Star Wars stuff there, and they also have the shuttle from Rogue One that they use in Rogue One, the one that had the like the U wing, I think is what it was called. They have that one
Oh
also for
yeah,
sale, and I think they even have a Tie Fighter. I don't know about that, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
man. Right when I was trying to save money.
You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, there's an AT-AT that they have that's pretty decent size. That's been
Nice,
like $60 for a long time. And
nice.
everyone out there, I think there's like a strategy out there. Don't tell anyone this, but at my Walmart, they have a clearance section that if they don't buy the Star Wars stuff at regular price, it always hops over to the clearance section. And
People just wait.
sometimes they make a deep discount, and other times they don't. They got a
Mm.
bunch of Boba Fett. I call it Slave One. They call it Fire Spray or whatever. I don't know. Don't want to get into that. But anyways, they're like $30 right now, and even my wife has gone there and has looked to check on the price because she knows that's still too much. We want to get it for like $10 or something. So
I uh before we go, there was a moment where at my HEB there in San Marcos, they had the dark saber, and there was a glitch in the system. And when I checked
oh
the price, it was like $2 and like 50 cents, and regular was like $20. So it was,
Yeah.
I was like, I went to go talk to the manager. And I was like, "Is this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a mistake. We got to take them all off the shelf." And I was like, "Damn it!" And I was like, what did you? Would y'all have been mad if I would have just bought them all without? They're like, we would have found a way to fire you probably. I was like, that's
Ugh,
crazy.
come on, man. You
Yeah,
made the mistake. I'm just
yeah,
paying
that's
the
yeah.
price
That
you
was I was a
asked.
little taken aback by that. I was like,
Well,
whoa,
maybe that
that's
was just to kind of.
yeah. But there's I don't know. You can't see them. Actually, you can. So you see how I have my episode 1 toys up there on the top, and
Yeah.
then next to the episode 1s, there are all those little ones. Those are ships. They look like this.
Yeah.
I opened it because I like it. Um, those are like it's like a Star Destroyer. It's this, and I think it's even Darth Maul on the
Yeah.
on the speeder. And
Yeah.
there's another one up there. They were I checked. I was like, are these really? They were like 75 cents marked down at HEB, and I bought them all. I just went and everybody's like, what are you doing? I
Wow.
was like, this is crazy that it's this cheap. I'm buying all of these. So those were like 75 cents a piece when I got them.
So yeah, a friend of the podcast, General Kenobi's Bunker, he bought like I don't know the quantity. He bought a lot. Let's just say a lot. Maybe like somewhere 10 to 15 to 20 of the Bo-Katan Funko Pop
Oh
pins
my gosh.
for $1 a piece.
Oh my goodness.
$1 a piece, and I was just at a comic book store, and they wanted like $15 for it. And I was so close to pulling that trigger,
You should
and
have
then
done
he
it.
goes online and he tells everyone, "I got these all for $1," and I'm like, "Oh,
Don't tell people. Like there's secrets that should be kept. See, you know what I mean? When people are like, "Here's a hack at Disneyland," I was like, "No, don't tell people that because everyone's gonna know about it." So yeah, that's what I always tell people. It's like there's some things that should just remain a secret to all of us.
yeah."
Anyways,
Well, I mean, we're at the end of the podcast. A lot of people drop off before they get to this point, and only 2 people are actually watching us right now. So
and we
yeah.
appreciate this.
These
two
are our
people
own
who
like
kept.
personal like crew right here,
Yeah.
our friends that we're talking to, anyways, that are supporting us. So yeah. So
Thank
I
y'all.
think that is it. Thank you so much for joining us. You can always find us. I think everyone kind of knows, but
Yeah, you know
I'll
where to
just say it
find
just
us.
in case people that haven't listened to us listen to this one for the first time for whatever reason. So yeah, YouTube, comment, like, subscribe. If you watch us on YouTube,
Please.
subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button. Instagram at Star Wars Stuff Pod. Twitter at Stuff Pod. Thank you so much, Darth Beard, for the comment. Thread, Star Wars Stuff Podcast. Support us on Patreon. Star Wars Stuff Podcast 2187. We're on TikTok. You can email us at starwarstuffpodcast@gmail.com. We got a lot of spam. So it might take a little while to find your stuff. But we're on Facebook, Star Wars Stuff Group, Star Wars Stuff Podcast page. We're on Twitch, Star Wars Stuff Gaming. Write a review. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That always helps. And there's a website I'm about to update, starstuffpodcast.com. Like I said, I'm off for a few days. So, yeah, I'm finishing a story about Katie Sackhoff.
Nice.
And we talk about our encounters with her at cons. And, yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on the website. So,
Nice.
yeah, check us out. And on social media, like our stuff. It helps the podcast. If you can't support us monetarily, you can support us by liking the stuff and sharing it with your friends. And
We appreciate it.
for James, my name is David. May the force be with you.
Always.